What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue. What I'm going to be doing today is we're going to be doing some twice baked potatoes. One thing that's going to make this a little bit different is we are going to be using our Actifry. You could use this same recipe in the oven as well. I just happen to want to go ahead and use this Actifry. Anyway, one of the things that you may want to make an adjustment on if you have an Actifry or any other air fryer is you're going to want to start off with a smaller potato, because a large potato is going to take too long to cook in that. So we're going to start off with some small potatoes about this big. So that's going to be one of our ingredients. As far as the rest of them goes, you always need some cheese in a twice baked potato. So I found this smoked Gouda cheese on sale. We're going to use this for the inside of our potato. And once we're done cooking, we're going to garnish it with some mild cheddar cheese. We're also going to need for our potato mixture some whole milk. You can use cream. You can just eliminate the milk and just use sour cream, which is going to be another one of our ingredients. And then I have some green onions we're going to thinly slice. And I have some bacon that I'm going to go ahead and cut up into little bacon bits. And then we're going to go ahead and cook those in the Dutch oven. So what I'm going to do now is bring you over to the Actifry. We're going to get these potatoes in, and then we're going to get the rest of this stuff processed and ready to roll. If you have an Actifry or any of these other air fryers, some of them have these paddles in them. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove the paddle, and then we're going to put our potatoes in, and we're going to spray them with some, this happens to be just a canola oil spray, and we're going to spray them, and then we're going to just turn this on. Now, one of the reasons we're spraying them is because I want the skin to be kind of somewhat oily so it doesn't tear or break when we are cooking them in this Actifry. So I'm thinking it's going to take about 30 minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and shut the lid, turn it on, and get on to the rest of our cook. Potatoes have gone about 15 minutes. My bacon's getting cooked, and you could either cook this whole and crumble it up later. I decided just to go ahead and cut it up and then cook it. So I'm scooping out the bacon, leaving the oil in there. I'll go ahead and move that to the back. And as far as the other stuff goes, we have our Gouda cheese that's been shredded. We have our cheddar, which is going to go on the top. Now, as far as the green onions go, I have the bottom part of the green onions, which would be the bigger, thicker part here. And then for our topping, we're going to use the end part that is a little bit greener and not quite as dense. So that's where we're at. I'm going to let these potatoes go about another 5 minutes, and then we'll get these mashed potatoes started up. These potatoes should be done. I did check them about 5 minutes ago, and it did look like a knife was sliding in and out of them pretty easily. So now we're just gonna go ahead and take them out, and we're gonna let these cool off for about 5 minutes on this pan before we cut off the top and scoop out the potato mixture. These potatoes should be cool enough to handle by now, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're just gonna kind of cut the top off, and then we're going to scoop out the middle. Now you're going to want to leave a little bit of the edge on this because you don't want the potato falling apart when you're filling it. So we're going to leave a little bit on that, and we're going to go ahead and scoop this off of the top. Now what I like to do with these tops is if there's anything left over, what I'll do is I'll actually just add some stuff to that, and you know, just some cheese, maybe some salt, pepper, boom, that's the deal right there. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish these up and get back with you in a few. I'm gonna have to apologize. A couple things I didn't mention earlier is I do have a half a stick of butter that I've added to the potatoes, and I did add the potatoes to my bacon. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add my Gouda cheese, and you can add as much or as little as you want. I'll go ahead and eat that little bit that fell down. And we're going to add our sour cream. Bacon goes, I use 75% of the bacon in this mixture, and I'm going to put the other on the top before we get it back in the ActiFry. I'm not. You can use a mixer or something if you want, but I think I like it to have a little bit more texture to it. So we're just going to kind of do it like that. Let's go ahead and add our. I'm going to add all those green onions. I really want this to have some good texture to it. And from the looks of it, we're not going to need too much milk. And the texture you're looking for in this is just going to be a normal mashed potato texture. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this in. Once it gets to the consistency we're looking for, we're going to go ahead and start filling these potatoes. We've got our potato mixture made up. We have our potatoes here. I've allowed those a chance to cool down. Now we're just going to go ahead and fill them with this mixture. And I'm just going to go ahead and set these on this pan until we're ready to get them in the ActiFry. Now we have the potatoes filled. There's 4 of them, but there's a 5th one here, which was one of these tops that actually had enough in it for me to fill, so I went ahead and filled that up. Now we're just going to go ahead and hit it with some cheese, as much or as little as you like. And now we're going to hit it with some of these green onions. And some of the bacon. So now that we've got all these things filled up, we're going to go ahead and pop the lid on this ActiFry. I'm just going to go ahead and set these in. Should be good to go in about, I'm going to say about 10 minutes. I will be checking them. And really all that we're looking for is for the cheese to be melted on this. We should be good to go. What it's looking like. And as you guys can see, it's looking pretty delicious. I'm going to go ahead and shut this and let it run for just another minute. You guys can see little Frankie running over there by the stove. I'm going to go ahead and shut it. And I'm going to turn it off and just let the residual heat continue cooking them, and we should be good to go. I'm going to let these cool off for about 15 minutes before we bite into them, just so I'm not biting into a hot potato. Potatoes have had a chance to sit for about 5 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them out. That was a little half one that I just kind of added to it. Here's what our potatoes look like after we got them out of the ActiFry. I pulled them out after about 5 minutes. I'm going to let them cool for about another 5 more minutes. Then we're going to just go ahead, dig in, see what they taste like, and it's a wrap. Wrap. Only one thing left to do. That's to dig in. So let's go ahead. And if you want to be a hippie, you could use a knife to cut it. I'm just going to dig in with this spoon. Now I cut all the way through that. Some people just like to eat the center. I like to eat the whole thing. One thing you can definitely tell or pick up in this is that smoked Gouda cheese. So I'm happy that I went with that. The only reason I used Gouda cheese in this recipe was because I got it on sale. Otherwise it would have just been all that cheddar, but I do like the way that Gouda cheese tastes in that. I do think the cheddar cheese added a nice little color as far as presentation goes that maybe you wouldn't have been able to get with the Gouda. Other than that, you can taste the bacon coming through. This right here is a winner. This is something, if you don't have an ActiFry, do it in the oven, but Nice little thing to do in an active fry if you don't want to. Well, I guess it's getting towards winter, so depending on when you're watching this, it's about to be winter at the time of this video. And maybe you want to have the oven on, but if you're watching this in the summertime and you have an active fry, you're not going to heat up your old kitchen cooking with this. Anyway, I really like this. Thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.